Hi, this is Mrs. Sunny. I would like to show you how to tune your cello. First, you need to download the tuner app. It's called Sound Corset. It's blue. If you turn it, and then it looks like this. Okay, then this is metronome and tuner together. So if you touch tuner, it looks like that. Okay, the letter the letter tells you what letter name your string produced, what letter sound the string produced. And then if the string, um, the needle goes to your right, that means you're higher than what the letter is supposed to be. If letters go this way, your left, that means you're flat. It means lower, sounds lower. So you have to turn your fine tuners opposite of these needles. So if your needle's to your right, and then you have to turn your fine tuners opposite way. So if your needle's this way, since your sound's lower than it's supposed to be, and then you have to turn your fine tuner opposite, which is right to your right. And you're gonna hear the green light comes up when you're in tune. Make sure that your letter names are correct letter name, the string that you're playing. Now, you are trying to tune A string, but your letter G or E or C, that means you're not playing the right sound. So, if your letter name's A, supposed to be A, but your B, it's okay. You can do with the fine tuners. But if you are not even near the letter name that you're supposed to play, for instance, you're supposed to play A, but you're like C or D or E, then you have to use these pegs. That means you're way out of tune. Or your strings are way, way loose. That means they're way out of tune. So you have to tune with your pegs. When you tune with your pegs, make sure that you turn your pegs very little bit at a time. Little bit at a time. If you push your peg away from you that way, that means you make your string higher. If you're pulling your peg, you turn your peg towards you, that means you make your string sound lower. So sharp or flat, higher, lower. And another thing you have to be very careful when you do your peg tuning. You have to turn very little bit at a time, lower or higher. So make sure you do that. And also, if your string was very, very loose, then you must check. Make sure that your bridge is, make sure they're straight. Sometimes if your strings are loose, then your bridges get um, loose and then they are not straight. Make sure that if you look at carefully, you could see a little slit or groove over there here, outside here. Yes, it line up with your bridge, and my bridge is not really lined up. And supposed to be lined up with that groove here. And then make sure this is straight when you look at it. And then make sure there's a little groove there. Make sure that strings goes right in there. Okay. All right, make sure they slide in. And these are, see, these are fine tuners that you have to turn right to make it higher turn left, make it lower. Okay, those little called bow end strings goes in the groove. Every strings makers a little have the little different things, but make sure this goes in there. If you this came up, make sure they're all the way down. Okay, that's what you need to do before you tune. These are the fine tuners, those are pegs. Fine tuners, you use it when you're pretty close enough, and then use pegs when you're really out of tune. Okay, this is basically you need to know before you tune. So now that you're all settled, your tuner app is downloaded, and you check your bridge, make sure it's straight. So let's see. Let's start with the A string. You can either play with your bow or you can simply pluck. This is supposed to be A strings, but I want you to notice that when I play A, look at my tuner. It says G. Or sometimes it picks up my voice and gives you different kind of letter names. Let me try it again. And then since it was way flat, I'm going to push the peg away from you since G is lower than A. Even G flat is lower than G, so I'm going to use a peg. Make sure this peg can go very loose or so tight. If it's too tight, make sure you pull it towards you a little bit, so loosen it a little bit so it gets loose, so you can turn easily. And if it's too loose, make sure when you turn away from you, you sort of push in gently, not too tight, gently as if you screw in the screw things. So a little bit push. So I'm going to do it a little bit, maybe like quarter turn. Yeah, mine got slipped. Oh, it says A flat. Did you see that? It says A flat. Okay, make sure it stays. So I push in a little bit because my peg got a little loose. Good, A, but my needles are my left. So that means still not A, but close A. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tune my fine tuner to the right. And then I'm going to pluck again. So I don't know whether you can see the needle, but it's not, and you don't see the green light. So I'm going to turn my fine tuner knob to my right about 2 turns. Oh, it went up. So maybe 2 more turns. Did you see that? It's green. Green light on right in the middle. Good. That means my A is in tune. And I'm going to pluck D. Oh, this is pretty close, but still lower end. So I'm going to turn about maybe 2 or 1, depends how big is your turn. Okay, I want pretty good. It's a green light, but I'm going to do a little bit more. Okay, right in the middle. Did you see that? Green. And then what letter name is next string? G. Oh, it's way too low. Oh, I went too high. It's supposed to be G. So maybe it's perfect time for me to show you how to do. I'm going to turn this knob to my left. Oh, I need to use my peg. So I'm going to do a little bit. I'm going to turn towards me since I have to go lower. I purposely went a little bit too high for you. So I'm going to turn a little bit. See how tiny bit, how tiny bit I turn? You didn't even see me turning, but that's how little I was turning, like very little. Oh, look at that. So I got the letter G, but still sharp. So what do? Then you use a fine tuner. So I'm going to turn left because my needle is to my right. So I'm going to turn my tuner to my left. I did 2 turns. Maybe I'm going to do 2 more turns to my left. Now my fine tuner guts get really high. That means I have to turn any more. If you turn your fine tuner too much, it comes off because this is a screw. If you turn too much to your right, it goes way down. You cannot turn it anymore. So if this is too loose, make sure you use your peg. If it's too tight all the way down, you have to use your pegs. Oh, thank goodness. So I got G. I turn right a little bit, so I want to be right in the middle. See, my needle is right in the middle, and I got a green light, so I got good G. And then C. So B. Even though my needle was right, but B is lower than letter C. So I have to use my peg. Since my string is lower than C, I should push away from me. I have to make the string higher, not lower. So I'm going to turn my string, let me see if you can see, away from me, but my peg already looks like this, so I'm going to push. Oh, I got a C, pretty good C. See how little I was pushed a little bit? So let's make it perfect. Perfect, right in the middle. Right in the middle. This app is really, really easy to use and pretty accurate. So this is how you tune the cello with a tuner. Also, you can use a smart music tuner. If you see smart music page, when you go to the assignment page, you'll get to see all kinds of icons. And if you see left corner, you can see the tuning fork, U-shaped with a little stick. So you can tune just like now with that program also. So either way, either you download the app or you can use a smart music tuner and to tune it. Hopefully you learn how to tune it, and I hope this helps. Okay, thank you, cellist. Bye.